Hello again. We're back at the Mac Pro. I have several plans for today, quite a number of plans, and this should get us close to where we actually want to be. You remember my issues with the RAM. I have had delivered 32 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM from the wonderful people at Otherworld Computing, so this should definitely work. That is one plan. Second, I have also procured a PCIe card with USB-C and USB-A 3.1. This comes from the good people at Abelcon. And you may recall that I was dithering a little bit about whether I would add a card for USB 3 or a card for USB-C 3.1. So I got both of them. Here we would have 4 USB 3 ports. This card coming courtesy of Initech. Now, first of all, the reason why I chose these cards is that they are powered just from the PCI bus. There's no need to draw additional power from any other source in order to get them working. That's a good thing. Now, there will be issues about power. They probably would not make great charging ports. That's okay, I'm not worried about that. Anything that's particularly power hungry that would get plugged into there is probably going to need to have a separate source of power. At least that's what I'm expecting. Secondly, one of the problems this will have is that this means I will have maxed out the computer's PCIe slots. Should I reach a point in the future, and I may very well, where I want to add something else that comes up that seems like it would be important, one of these two will have to go. But I'm going to put them both in now, and then through use over the next period of time, we'll see which ones are the most useful. I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards USB-C and A 3.1, but I may be wrong. So we'll find that out. So I hope you can sit back and enjoy today's little adventure with my 5.1 Mac Pro. Enjoy. All right then, here we have the Mac Pro. Side view. All right. Opening the case, flip that, pull, door comes right off. Now the first thing we need to do would be installing the RAM. And pulling both of those, the tray slides right out. Down the clips, out comes the old RAM. All right. And now the new RAM. place. All right. Once we got the RAM in place, the clips close themselves back up. All right, and one more. I don't know why this. There. This one doesn't seem to want a seat. Probably because I'm putting it in backwards. Duh. Ta-da! All right. And we simply slide that back in. Oh, no wonder we're having a problem. That closed. And that's locked into place. Now, the next plans. There are two. Here we have the Crucial SSD, and of course the graphics card. There are two bays still open. There's the upper one above the SSD and one below the SSD. I'm going to put the USB-C 3.1 into the upper one, then the USB-A 3.0, which I'm suspecting will probably be less used, into the third from the bottom there. So doing this is easy enough. There's a couple of screws here. They can be loosened by hand, but I find it a little easier to get in there with a screwdriver, so I'll be using a screwdriver. I think I will do that portion of it off camera, just because I'm going to have to fuss with it a little bit, but it will not be difficult to do. Okay, so we'll be back in a bit. And now for the moment of truth. Everything is in the way I had described it. Okay. Again, the lack of the boot screen. It's a little bit annoying, you know. Apple insists that I install a $175 graphics card. Actually, Otherworld Computing had it for $350, but I found it on Amazon for about $175. But I had to install that in order to install Mojave, which is not even the most current version of the operating system. It's one removed. And I don't get the boot screen. There are situations where that could be troubling. And here we go. So we're on the desktop. Now, a couple of things that you see over here. These are two USB SSDs, both Samsung T5s. that I have plugged into the ports just to establish that those new cards are working. Here we are about this Mac. 32 gigabytes of 1066 megahertz DDR3. That's what we're supposed to have. 4 slots, all of them full with 8 gig sticks. Now the storage. Yes, we've got the Crucial drive. We've got the 2 removable drives, 1 terabyte Samsung and a half terabyte Samsung. Then the SanDisk SATA drive and that hard drive that I put in the other day. Okay, one more place we're going to look at. System report. Start with USB. And here we can see the hubs, the USB 2 bus, front one and back one. There's nothing in the front ones right now. All right. Oh, that's interesting. Apple keyboard. Yes, that's right. It's plugged in that way. All right, and the optical mouse. All right, then. And then USB 3, which has got oh, that's interesting. USB 3.1 is not showing up. So it's showing USB 3 bus with only 1 drive in there. That's a little strange. Well, we'll check that out. But the thing is, of course, both drives that are plugged in, one to the USB 3 and one to the USB 3.1, are in there. Okay, that makes me wonder a little bit. Now, the one other thing, we go to Bluetooth. If you look right here, you'll see low energy supported, and it says yes, which would not be right for the built-in Bluetooth. What I did was to plug in a Bluetooth 4.0 dongle with the idea that if all goes well, I can get support for continuity, therefore be able to use handoff and AirDrop. It would be particularly nice. All right, now I'm going to try one thing. Close those down. Let's eject that. And look at that once again. System report, USB. Nope, it's still that's strange. Okay, I'll have to do some testing to see if I actually get USB 3.1 speeds. But anyhow, the USB 3 bus is working the way it should. Very strange. Okay, well, anyway, we're largely having success. So thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see if I come up with any other wonderful things that I want to do with this machine. Have a wonderful day. Well, as a quick addendum, I had mentioned the idea of trying the continuity activation tool with the Bluetooth dongle. Unfortunately, I was not successful. I tried it twice with the master version of the tool, and there's a beta, but they're both very outdated. I don't know for sure that's what the problem is or if it's something else. However, both times that I did it, restarting the machine it would not boot into Mojave. The only way I could come up with to fix that was to reinstall Mojave from the recovery partition, which I did. However, the better news USB is working fine. I'll drag that down so you can see the entire list there. USB 2 bus, USB 2 bus, USB 3 bus, which has got a webcam plugged into it, USB 3.1, which right now has nothing plugged into it, but I did earlier, so it was showing up fine. So that's all working. Now, if there's anybody who sees this who happens to have at all a thought about getting continuity activated on a Mac Pro in Mojave, I would love to know it. But anyhow, I think we're good. So I'm going to have to AirPlay these videos from my phone over to another computer, then transfer it via the wonders of USB 3.1 to this computer. So, there you go. Have a wonderful day.